Hey y'all, I want to revisit the topic of leveling up and the difference. So this is referring to the video that I uploaded yesterday where he takes you as what he thinks of you. You guys had some great comments on that. One of which was, I think maybe it was MB, said something like, she sounds like she's watched a few, you know, level up or hypergamy videos and basically tried to apply it. Like, you know, when you watch that video and she says, I get courted, anyone that pronounces courted like that doesn't get courted. You know, it was giving ridiculous, but you know, I already talked about the video and how it was teamed too much. I think we need to talk about, and we've talked about this before, but just a, you know, a public service announcement about leveling up for real. So leveling up for real isn't just having your aesthetic together. It's doing the work psychologically, whether that's with a therapist, whether that's you need to take some etiquette classes, some finishing school. When situations arise like what happened with last night, you can tell the difference between leveling up for real and leveling up superficially. You know, to me, a leveled up woman, a really leveled up woman, I don't mean just aesthetically, would have never behaved like that, you know? Okay, so what's the difference? If you are leveling up for real, you know whether or not you look the part. You know. And this is why I say don't get out there dating while you're still fat. Don't get out there dating while you still like boundaries. Don't get out there dating while you're not confident. You know, do the work before you get out there. And do the work expeditiously. You know, I told you guys I've been trying to lose weight for the last 4 years. And so far I've only net, you know, from when I actually started trying to lose weight, like literally 30 pounds. I'm 30 pounds lighter than when I started. At that rate, I'll be in my 50s before I get down to my goal weight. So I have to do more. I'm not doing enough. If you don't look like the kind of woman that can pull the kind of behavior she wants from a man, then to me, you're not ready. Just don't get out there and date, because to me, you're wasting everybody's time. You're wasting your time and you're wasting his time. And besides her behavior, I think how we really know she's not ready is, I go back to this idea of, are you his Beyonce? If that guy, you know, was trying to court Beyonce, he would sit in his car and wait and still be excited that he gets to go out with Beyonce. You know what I mean? So if you don't look the part, go back to the drawing board. So I told you guys before, that's why I stopped dating, because it's like I was just literally wasting my time, because I know I didn't look the part of how I want to be treated. Now granted, he did pick that woman. However they met, he saw what she looked like. He saw her aesthetic. You know, maybe he didn't see her attitude or anything, but he saw all the other stuff. He had standards. He said, you know, I expect certain things and you've broken every one of those. I don't have a lot of rules, but you've broken every one. To me, she didn't have boundaries. When she saw he was taking her to the Cheesecake Factory, she should have just said, you know, no thank you, and, you know, got herself an Uber out of there. That's why I don't believe in taking my, you know, bringing dates to my house. You know, if you're not paying my mortgage, you're not coming to my house, point blank, period. You know, if we're not getting married, you're not coming to my house. But I just would have said no thank you, or she should have just said no thank you and left it at that. At the end, when she starts conceding and saying, you know, well, I can compromise, and you're right, I was, you know, not cooperative, and I was, you know, all these things. That's what I mean about boundaries. If your boundary is you're not going to any cheap chain restaurants, then stick by that boundary no matter what the guy says. You know, she could have, there was just so many different better ways to handle that on both parts. To me, he should have told her from the jump, well, we're going to go to Arias, wherever that is, whatever state they're in. just called after waiting. I probably, I don't know what I could say I would do as a man, because I'm not a man. But I'm thinking I would have just called her and said, hey, I've been down here 15 minutes. No, thank you. You know. But then, you know, she's late for the date. And so instead of him telling her why he's taking her to Olive Garden, he just takes her to not Olive Garden. Girl, same difference. I mean, Cheesecake Factory is a step above Olive Garden, but to me, barely, you know. Jay and I had a conversation about this video, and I'd already made my video before she told me what she thought about it. And when she told me what she thought about it, I was like, you know, I could see she was right. Well, she didn't pay attention to the way the woman looked at all. She did say, you know, if her aesthetic isn't together, then she would look at herself and say, I need to do more work. You know, if I got a guy willing to take me to the Cheesecake Factory. But I think it wasn't only just her aesthetic. I think it was really the time thing. You know, you get out of situations what you put in a lot of times. Now, there are times where you put in more than you get, but when he explains all the things that changed his decision, and he said, okay, I have this standard of, you know, acceptable behavior, and you're not meeting it, so I'm going to take you back home. He should never have been the one to say that. She should have been the one to say, you know, I'm not going to, I keep wanting to say Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory, Olive Garden, whatever. I'm not going there. Good luck, you know, what you're looking for. Thank you. You know, one of the things that Jay said is that you know, the women in the video, you know, in the comment section, wherever this originally aired, were taking the side of the man. And I'd already recorded my video where I was like taking his side a lot too. So it definitely gave me pause. But I had also told her, you know, I think having your aesthetic together is, you know, I could tell that when I was dating, that my look wasn't together yet to pull and command the kind of attention from a man I wanted. You know, it makes me think of that video I did the other day. You call it, you know, when I'm saying, okay, I want to weigh 125. And everybody in the video, the panelists are saying, oh, girl, nah, that's too little. You 145, you'll be all right. It's like, no, I don't want 145 treatment. 145 doesn't turn the kind of heads I'm trying to turn. You know, I want white girl skinny, you know, aesthetic. Because I know what I see here. I live in a major city, plenty of millionaires and billionaires. The women they have are not 145. They're not 140 anything. Even the old, you know, wrinkly, haggard, old enough to be retired ladies are skinny. They're, you know, they're zeros, twos, fours. You know, I know what I see. So I don't let anyone's standard make me say, oh, my standard is too high. Oh, I want to lose too much weight because someone else thinks it's too much. No, I know what I want, and until I get where I want to be, I know what kind of life or dating I can expect. Since I'm not where I want to be, and I don't want the kind of treatment 200-pound plus woman gets, I'd rather not date. I'm not going to be out in these streets arguing with a man about taking me somewhere I don't feel is worthy of my, you know, when she said, oh, that would be so embarrassing to go there. And it's like, you're embarrassing yourself online. I just would never get up and post something like that. Pull out a camera on a date. Y'all, I have been on dates where the situations have been just not ideal. You know, but I never pulled out my camera and started recording. You know, you take your own car. So if things get crazy, you can go somewhere else. You know, she was already dressed up. She could have went to another restaurant or to a bar by herself or to the grocery store or whatever. I know when I'm in the grocery store and I see women looking elegantly beautiful, I'm like, oh, I wonder where they're going, or I wonder where they're coming from. You know what I mean? So, you know, I do want to caution us about taking a man's point of view always. That was something that, you know, I thought Jay had a point on. That women are just male identified. Like, this guy wasn't black. He looked like he was Indian or Middle Eastern, somewhere like that. South Asian. But the women still took his turn because we look at everything, you know. We're just taught to look at things from a man's point of view, you know. And so I'm working on that myself, you know, but I also feel like, you know, to me, if she had boundaries, she just would have said, oh, no, thank you. I didn't know this is where we were going. You know, and that would have been it. But to me, she lost a lot of credibility when she was like, oh, you know, we can't talk about it. We can't compromise. And it's just like, that's frustrating. And one of y'all has said something about secondhand embarrassment. Like, I couldn't even get through the video. I had to fast forward to your part because I was secondhand embarrassed because of her behavior. And that was hilarious to me because I'm like, you know, it was definitely cringe, you know, but she was like secondhand embarrassment. And you see that where you see, you know, black people, and if you're invested in yourself first, black women doing things that you're just like, oh my gosh, you're making us look bad, you know. I used to think like that, and it is very rare that I think like that now. I usually just assume people can tell the difference between different classes of black people. You know, when she's all like, you would take a woman that looks like this to the Cheesecake Factory? And it's like, girl, you say that stuff for your, you know, if she's a TikTok star or Instagram star or whatever, save that for that. But I would just never, and maybe because I don't look like nothing, maybe because I am over 200 pounds, I'm like, oh my God, I would never say that. You know, I'm just like, I don't even see Beyonce saying something like that. Like, she said when her good she take is to Red Lobster. I'm like, I mean, I could see Beyonce saying something like that in her songs, but I just couldn't, you know, I don't know, you know, and I know some of y'all get annoyed with me, you know, kind of using Beyonce as the ultimate standard of beauty. I know one woman said something like, oh, I wish we would quit doing this, taking one woman and trying to all compare ourselves to her. And, you know, I appreciate what she's saying, but also, I'm not interested in loving women. I'm interested in loving men, and that's what men do. They look at you and determine if you're hot enough for whatever it is they trying to do, you know. And the more attractive you are, the more you get out of life. I mean, that's just facts, y'all. You know that from being an adult. The more attractive, what do they say all the time? Sex sells. Is he trying to get over? No. They say sex sells. It's true. You get, what do they say? You get more bees with honey than you do with, you know, vinegar, or something like that. So, you know, I was kind of feeling like, oh man, I kind of failed with that message, and it's like now I'm trying to revise it and say, you know, well, he did pick her no matter how she looks, whether her foundation matches or not, whether that dress she had on was tacky or not, whether she was fat or not, whatever it is she was looking like, he did pick her. You know, I'm assuming he picked her. You know, women nowadays are some women are so masculine, they may be asking guys to take them out. I don't know. It was kind of getting like that when I was in undergrad. This whole, you know, women letting men know that they're attracted to them and that they want them to take them out and stuff. And that's just something I could never do. I always need to know he wanted me first. You know what I mean? So, with this revisited, you know, definitely let me know what y'all think. Why is it that we as women do seem to automatically take the man's side in things? Why don't we side with the woman? I guess because we're familiar with being women. And then a lot of us, or most of us, are not leveled up to the level we want to be. You know, some of us are. Like one lady on the panel last night, I think she definitely is. She's aesthetically where she wants to be. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you know in your heart, you still, whatever your goal weight is, if you are comfortable with being 145, you know, if you're not at whatever it is you want to look like, I'm sorry, but you need to go back to the drawing board. You know, I just don't believe in getting out here dating fat, dating unattractive, you know, dating if you feel like your nose is too big, dating if you feel like your teeth are bad, you know, and then commanding dime treatment. You know, you know how I said last night, where he takes you is what he thinks of you. I also feel like what you look like is how he treats you, but it's also your standards and your boundaries. You know, I as a 200-pound plus woman would not let a man take me to Cheesecake Factory. But I also know when I'm going on dates where we're going, because I'm going there in my own car. There's no way I'm letting a man come to my house or know where I live, especially not a first date. Do y'all watch 48 Hours? Do y'all watch First 48 Hours? How many of these people meet online? You know, I told you guys before about victimology and how predators will go online to look for victims. And that's not to say you shouldn't online date. You know, I'm not saying that at all, but I think use some situational awareness, you know. Don't give a guy, you know, your address off the bat. I say don't give me your address, period, unless he's paying your mortgage or you can put a ring on your finger. I also want to talk about being high maintenance. And I'm going to insert a video. And before, you know, I'm going to put this video at the end of my speaking. But I agree with what this woman said about being high maintenance. I definitely, when I was dating, you know, whether I was wearing my wig or not, or whether I was wearing my hair natural or not, you know, the more high maintenance I look, the better treatment I got. If you're okay with going out in public with no makeup on, slides on, Crocs on, you know, I know you ain't listening to me wearing no bonnet outside. You know, I just know you're not doing that. You know, and if you are, I don't think, you know, I don't think this is a channel for you, dog. But I do believe in being high maintenance. You show people how to treat you by how you look. You know, y'all know. Okay, so I'm an 80s baby. Y'all know Jesse Jackson used to talk about, yeah, people now call this respectability politics. You can call it what you want to. Like, yeah, I want to be respected. Okay, that's why I go around looking clean and high maintenance and made up, because I do want to be respected. I don't want to be treated like I'm homeless or you know, anything like that. So I do believe in being high maintenance. I had a high maintenance mother. You know, I would just sit there in the bathroom and watch, because to me she was so beautiful. I would just sit there and watch her put on her makeup, and you know, just you know, I loved it. And I'm that way still. You know, when I go to work, I'm not thinking about dating anybody I work with, but you best believe I'm getting up and I'm putting on makeup and I'm putting on earrings and I'm putting on heels. Now today is Friday, so I get to dress casually, so I have on jeans, but I still have on like a blouse and matching tennis shoes, and my makeup is done and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to go anywhere in public looking crazy. Like when I see women out just like they just went out, and I don't understand going out in your pajamas. Like, girl, what? To me, that's something children do. And when I say children, I mean children not old enough to even be in school yet. So what if children start kindergarten at 5? I'm talking about kids that are under 5 going out in pajamas. And I personally think pajamas are for the house. You get all outside and, you know, pollution and stuff on your clothes when you're wearing your clothes outside, your pajamas outside. To me, your pajamas are for the house and for when you're ready to get in bed. You know what I mean? Not just, oh, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, so I'm gonna put on some pajamas. You know, that's like, what? But I see grown women doing this. They'll go to the store, have on pajamas with a bonnet and some slides, and I'm just like, girl, come on, your mama didn't raise you better than that. I know your daddy wasn't in the house, because you wouldn't have went outside looking like that if he was. I don't guess. I don't think so, but child, what do I know? But, you know, ladies, all that is just to say, do the work. If you don't look like how you want to look yet, pause on the dating to get where you want to get, and do it fast, because time, as they say, time waits on no man. So true. Time is not going to wait on you. You got to get up, get out, and get something, as Outcast says. Anyway, I have arrived at the office, so I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all be easy. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on all of it, especially why we seem to be so male identified. You know, even those of us leveling up, it's all a learning journey. We're all on a learning curve. We're all still trying to get there, you know. None of us is perfect. No, not one. Some of y'all know where that came from. Okay, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Go out today and get closer towards your goal. Whether that's working out, whether that's not eating everything in sight, you know, whether that's practicing smiling and looking friendly, whether that's getting you a good support bra, whatever that means for you, start working towards your goal of looking how you want to look to get the kind of life you want to have. And if you already have the look down, but you don't have the boundaries down, you don't have the confidence down, work on it.
High maintenance women are good for men. If I were a male seeking a lifelong partner, I'd pick the high maintenance woman over the low maintenance woman any day of the week, because the high maintenance woman will take you further. You'll go further as a couple. What motivated me to talk about this was learning about a couple I know that parted ways, and the guy said she was really high maintenance. This has been said about me, so I want to clarify this high maintenance label. Historically, high maintenance women have been labeled as self-obsessed, solely focused on money and material things, and many people believe we're hard to handle. Notice I said we. I'm a proud, self-proclaimed high maintenance woman. I had an ex-boyfriend that told me I was high octane. I took that as a compliment, because the reason he labeled me as high octane was because I wouldn't tolerate his excessive tardiness and bad personal hygiene. I didn't have any money then, but I had set standards for myself, and I always looked my best even when I was broke. You see, high maintenance women aren't just focused on material things. We prefer the best of the best, and we will hustle to get it if we have to. And the best of the best includes excellent health, a good-looking exterior, a better-looking interior, strong emotional intelligence, love, respect, and abundance. All of these things make up wealth, because wealth encompasses much more than just money. A woman who is focused on filling her life with wealth will take you further than a woman who isn't. High maintenance women made a choice at some point in their lives that they were not willing to settle for anything less than what they wanted, and that decision led to taking action. Action leads to an energetic vibration that matches the best of the best, and this includes way more than an obsession with material things. I think the first thing men notice about women is their personal appearance. You won't see a high maintenance woman walking around looking disheveled and worn out, because we focus on sustaining our perfect health. That's why high maintenance women are very physically attractive. We take pride in ourselves, and even when we aren't all hair and makeup up, we still look our best. A high maintenance woman always looks her best, and I'm not referring to the stereotypical definitions of beauty. It doesn't matter what she weighs or how she dresses or wears her hair. She wants to look her best, and she strives for it. If a man is attracted to a high maintenance woman, he needs to realize that she has worked hard to look the way she does. If she weren't high maintenance, she wouldn't look like that. High maintenance women want to look good because that's part of who we are, because we love ourselves. Therefore, we want to love our whole physiology, and that love shows on the outside and the inside. And what is low maintenance? I've heard men describe women as low maintenance. Well, what are these women, flipping plants? I take that into consideration when I'm buying plants, because low maintenance plants don't require much care and attention. Why be in a relationship where you aren't getting much care and attention? In my relationship, it's 50-50, and I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone that didn't care enough about me to have my back. If I was okay with being in a relationship that wasn't caring, then that would mean I didn't love myself. A woman who doesn't love herself cannot love anyone else, and that's why the high maintenance woman will take you further. The term high maintenance is way too associated with money, and it's so much more than that. Frankly, I don't know anyone who would choose scarcity over abundance. So why criticize the women who chose higher standards and went after what they wanted? So if any man says he doesn't want a woman because she is too high maintenance, he's using that excuse as a scapegoat to camouflage his insecurities. 9 times out of 10, that woman was high maintenance way before that man came along, and her high maintenance exterior and interior are what attracted him to her in the first place. When a man sees a beautiful, confident woman, he should first think, wow, she must work really hard. He needs to go with a different type of woman if he immediately thinks, she looks like she will require a lot of care and attention. By my definition, high maintenance women refuse to settle for anything that doesn't promote their happiness and the lifestyle they deserve, and that is an admirable quality. My love and respect for myself have trickled down to positively impact my husband and anyone else I have had or have relationships with, and I'm including platonic, intimate, and professional relationships here. If there is one thing I've learned about men, it's this. Men love a challenge. They are competitive by nature. A woman that doesn't hold them accountable or push them to be their best is a woman they will become bored with, and they will not respect her. High maintenance people in general, cast gender aside, become more and more high maintenance as they get older because they know the key to longevity. And the key to longevity is loving yourself, respecting yourself, and treating your mind and body like sacred spaces that just anyone isn't granted access to. Now, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.